In the days of ancient Greece, when the world was still young, there lived a god whose brilliance outshone all others. His name was Apollo, the radiant god of light. Born to Zeus, the king of the gods, and Leto, a titaness, Apollo was destined for greatness from the moment he drew his first breath. Apollo's birth was a tale of hardship and perseverance. You see, Leto was pursued relentlessly by the vengeful goddess Hera, who had learned of Zeus's affair with the beautiful titaness. Hera's wrath knew no bounds, and she placed a curse on Leto, decreeing that she could find no place on earth to give birth. But Leto was determined, and she sought refuge on the floating island of Delos, where she finally brought forth her divine twins, Apollo and Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. It was on that sacred island that Apollo's radiant journey began. From his earliest days, Apollo displayed an exceptional gift. He was a master of the lyre, a stringed instrument of enchanting melody. His music had the power to soothe even the most troubled hearts, and his voice was said to rival that of the sweetest songbirds. The muses themselves were captivated by his talents, and they became his constant companions and muses, inspiring him to create poetry and music that would echo through the ages. As Apollo grew, his divine powers became increasingly evident. He became known as the god of prophecy, and his oracle at Delphi, nestled at the foot of Mount Parnassus, was the most renowned in all of Greece. Pilgrims from far and wide sought his wisdom, for Apollo possessed the ability to see into the future, to unveil the hidden truths of the world. It was at Delphi that Apollo's gifts truly shone. Pilgrims would climb the sacred slopes of Parnassus, offering prayers and sacrifices to gain an audience with the god. They would approach the temple, where a priestess, known as the Pythia, served as Apollo's conduit to the mortal realm. As the Pythia inhaled the sacred vapors that rose from a cleft in the earth, she would fall into a trance, her voice becoming the voice of the god himself. Apollo's prophecies were cryptic and often veiled in riddles, but those who sought his guidance believed in his wisdom. Kings and heroes alike would journey to Delphi, eager to receive the god's counsel before embarking on their quests and endeavors. Apollo's words were seen as both a blessing and a warning, and they held the power to shape the destinies of mortals. But Apollo was not merely a god of music and prophecy. He was also a master of the arts, a patron of learning and culture. His divine presence could be felt in every corner of Greece, from the grand theatres of Athens, where his plays were performed, to the gymnasiums where poets and philosophers gathered to debate the mysteries of existence. Apollo's beauty was legendary, and he was often depicted as a young man with golden hair and a countenance that radiated divine grace. His bow and arrow were symbols of his mastery over the hunt, and he was known to protect the innocent and punish the wicked. Apollo was a god of balance, embodying both the creative and destructive forces of the world. As the god of light, Apollo's daily journey across the sky was a testament to his power. He guided the chariot of the sun, driving it from east to west with unwavering precision. The sun's rays, an extension of his divine essence, brought warmth and life to the world. It was said that the very touch of Apollo's light could heal wounds and cure ailments, and his presence was invoked to dispel darkness and bring clarity to the mind. Yet, for all his brilliance, Apollo was not immune to the trials and tribulations of the mortal world. His heart was not untouched by the passions and desires that consumed humanity. One day, as he roamed the earth in search of new melodies, he encountered a nymph named Daphne. Daphne was a creature of unparalleled beauty, her form as graceful as the willow trees that lined the banks of rivers. Apollo, struck by her loveliness, was consumed by a burning desire to possess her. He pursued her relentlessly, his heart aflame with love and longing. But Daphne, like so many before her, was wary of the god's advances. She was a daughter of the earth, a spirit of the wild, and she wished to remain free. Apollo's relentless pursuit filled her with dread, and she cried out to her father, the river god Peneus, for salvation. In his mercy, Peneus heard his daughter's plea, and he transformed her into a laurel tree. her limbs becoming branches, her hair leaves, and her skin bark. Apollo arrived at the scene, his heart heavy with disappointment, only to find the beautiful nymph had vanished, leaving only the laurel tree in her place. Despite his sorrow, Apollo recognized the tree as a symbol of victory and achievement. He declared that from that day forward, the leaves of the laurel would be used to crown the heads of poets, warriors, and victors in games and competitions. The laurel became a symbol of honor and distinction, a reminder that even in the face of unrequited love, there could be triumph and beauty. Apollo's love for Daphne was not his only romantic misadventure. His dalliances with mortal women often led to tragic consequences. One such affair involved a maiden named Coronis, who bore him a son named Asclepius. But when Coronis proved unfaithful, Apollo's jealousy ignited, and he sent his sister Artemis to punish her. Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, took aim and struck Coronis down with her arrow. Yet even in his moments of sorrow and anger, Apollo remained a god of healing and redemption. He took the infant Asclepius under his wing, teaching him the art of medicine and bestowing upon him the gift of healing. Asclepius would become a legendary figure in his own right, known for his ability to cure the sick and wounded. Apollo's complex nature extended to his relationships with other gods and mortals. He was known to be a protector of the young and vulnerable, and he watched over the city of Troy during the Trojan War. However, his support for the Trojans in their conflict with the Greeks would lead to a clash with the god of war, Ares, who favored the Greek cause. Their confrontation on the battlefield was a clash of opposing forces. Apollo, with his divine archery skills, rained arrows upon the Greeks, while Ares unleashed his martial prowess. The clash of these two mighty gods resulted in a temporary stalemate, but it showcased the duality of Apollo's character, a god of both music and warfare, a harmonious and destructive force. As the years passed, Apollo's influence continued to spread throughout the ancient world. His temples and sanctuaries, adorned with exquisite sculptures and adorned with laurel wreaths, served as centers of culture and enlightenment. The oracle at Delphi remained a revered institution, drawing pilgrims and seekers from all corners of the known world. Apollo's legacy endured not only in the realm of the gods but also in the hearts and minds of mortals. His music inspired poets to craft verses of unparalleled beauty, his prophecies guided heroes on their epic quests, and his light illuminated the path of enlightenment for those who sought knowledge and truth. Yet, despite his radiant presence, Apollo was a god of nuance and contradiction. He embodied both the light and the darkness, the harmony and the discord, the triumph and the tragedy. He was a reminder that even the most brilliant beings are not immune to the complexities of existence, and that the pursuit of greatness often comes with a price.